All right. So today we have Mikey Intifada, and he obviously that's what he goes by, but his name is Michael Schirtzer. He's an LA-based stand-up comedian and co-host of the Palestine Pod. His content blends comedy with current events regarding Jewish identity, anti-Zionism, and Palestinian liberation. His Instagram account was recently disappeared by Meta without any warning or chance to appeal over content critical of Israel. Welcome, Mikey Intifada. How are you?
Hi, shukran. Thank you so much for having me. I'm
Marhaba,
doing
marhaba. It's great to
marhaba.
have you with us today. So
Yes.
many people actually were like, "Oh my goodness, please make sure if you can bring him on with us." So again,
Thank you.
so happy to have you here with us. I just wanted to
Honored to
start
be here.
with just a few questions. And my first question is, when did Palestine first become a part of your consciousness, and how did that start influencing your comedy?
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up in a Jewish household, and it was not like an overly Zionist household, but it was a household that tolerated proximity towards Zionism, right? Like they were in all of our institutions, all of our religious institutions, social, economic, etc. And so it had an influence over the way that I was brought up. I never heard anything really about Palestine or anything critical of the Israeli occupation up until I got to college and I joined a fraternity called AE Pi. It's a Jewish fraternity. I didn't know this, but it's actually one of the largest Zionist organizations in the United States. They do like
What was it called?
recruiting.
AE
AE
Pi?
Pi. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
a Jewish fraternity. They have them on most major campuses. And so I didn't know that at the time, but we were put through a hazing ritual wherein for like 6 to 8 weeks they have you do various things, but one of the things they did to us is they tortured us. There were 8 American guys and then 2 guys who had served in the Israeli occupation army, and they had us black bag, like our eyes, something tied over our eyes, hands behind our backs. We were put back to back in a dark room where they played loud music. It's sensory deprivation torture.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, so like the American guys were very uncomfortable because, we'd never been tortured before. But there were 2 Israeli guys who were also tied up with us, and they were like laughing and joking the whole
Oh,
time. And
yes, I think I've
it
seen
was
videos of this.
psycho behavior. And so that's what I said. I was like, you guys are giving off psycho vibes. Like, what's going on with you? And then I'll never forget this. They said to me, they were like, this is what we do to Palestinians all the time. Right. And so
Oh.
they told me way more about how they torture Palestinians and about, just like the terrible things that we have now seen in the public eye as these images are coming out from Gaza, right? As these videos are coming out, we know these are like common tactics of the Israeli occupation army. And so in that moment, like everything changed for me. It like my whole reality snapped. I was like, oh my God, literally everything I've ever been told is a lie, right? And so I had to really re-examine a lot of what I knew. And that's when I started to unlearn Zionism. And just so happened that like a few days later, I was walking through the college campus, UC Santa Barbara, and I walked past a Students for Justice for Palestine, SJP demonstration. They were having an Israeli apartheid week. And I had just never really heard those 2 words in the exact same sentence. I knew apartheid was bad, and I was also like not somebody who loved US imperialism. So I was like, okay, let me just go see what they're talking about. And I was also in a place because of what had just happened to me in the fraternity. I was kind of in a place to receive more information about it. And I started speaking to Palestinians who were there at the demonstration, and they told me the story of their family. They told me the story of the Nakba for the first time. And it deeply impacted me. I was like, I can't believe I've never heard anything about this. Like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like a huge blind spot in history. Palestinians, right? The anti
Hmm.
Palestinian racism that we see all the time, where people are automatically associating Palestinians with something negative, right? That's something that's been perpetuated by the media, by the government, certainly by the Israeli government and Hasbara. By the way, that's where I got my nickname, Mikey Intifada. They gave it to me. It's not like I just started calling myself that. Yeah,
Wait, who gave it to you?
Hasbara.
Really?
Yeah, way back in the day, because I before I started the Palestine Pod, I was just making videos online, like just talking trash to Zionists because I was like, you guys have no basis in logic, you have no basis for fact, like you have no relation to Judaism. I was slam dunking on Zionists on TikTok. That's how I sort of like came up on the internet. And Gazan Girl, my co-host, she's one of the people who found me because people were like, "Who is this Jew?" And she was like, "We should do a podcast." We started the Palestine Pod, and that was like 5 years ago. And we've spoken to people on the ground, people here in diaspora. We've had Nelson Mandela's grandson and Kosi Mandela, who confirmed that it's like worse than the apartheid that they faced. We've spoken to Adnan Bark, a filmmaker in Jerusalem who people have gotten to know over the last few years online, and Dr. Steve Salaita, who was one of the first professors who was fired over free speech in regards to Palestine. And yeah, we just it's sort of become a part of my life now.
And I saw that you were also on the Canary mission, and I was like, oh
Oh
my
yeah,
gosh.
I've been on Canary Mission since October 6th, actually. So
Oh, so just recently.
no, October 6th, 2023. Like
Yeah, so okay, so just like right before October
yeah,
7th.
right before
Okay.
the Al Aqsa
Wow.
flood, I was already established on Canary Mission. So
W.
not one of these people who popped up recently to sell a book, right?
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, I couldn't believe that you were on there. I was like, oh wow. But hey, big W. It's always like it's
Thank you
like an
so
honorable
much.
thing.
Absolutely.
What
And lost my
what
Instagram
yeah, I saw that. And that was like maybe what, 2, 3 weeks
a couple
ago or
days
so?
ago. Yeah. Probably like a week ago.
Wow. And no warning, nothing. They just
Nothing.
completely took you down.
No content violation, no opportunity to appeal. Literally, I had Jordana Cutler, who is the Israel and policy diaspora chief for, Meta. She used to work for Netanyahu, and she viewed my profile, like my stories. She looked through all of my stories. In less than an hour, my account
It
disappeared,
was gone. Wow,
gone. And
that's crazy.
it's crazy because I knew it as soon as I saw her face in my story. Like I was bugging. I was like, I texted a few of my friends. It was like I was going down on the Titanic. I was like, it has been an honor.
You're like, it's happening.
I think it's over for me. My farm is about to go live, or my account is about to go live on a farm upstate. Like it is.
That's it. You were
Yeah,
bidding your farewell as soon as you saw her.
yeah. I
Well,
knew.
that's good. That's kind of like this kind of goes into my next question about like what's been the most surprising backlash or support you've received for being so outspoken on Palestine.
The backlash is probably the death threats and the leaking of my address multiple times. That would
Oh
be the
wow.
worst. They also put like fraudulent charges on my credit card. They're like constantly sending me phishing texts trying to get me to click on stuff. Like people are honestly sending me stuff like, we've got a really good job opportunity for you that pays $700 a day or whatever. And yeah, but it's mostly the loneliness. I'm not gonna lie. Like I used to not really talk about it and be like, it's okay, it's fine, but it's actually starting to catch up to me. The loneliness is because it's like, if you're steadfast for Palestine, if you actually support the resistance, if you like will not compromise, dude, it's lonely, you know? There's not a
Are
lot
you
of
saying
people who
like your
are,
family and friends kind of
yeah,
abandon you?
yes, family, friends, like business opportunities, comedy spots. Everybody will like commend me on the work that I'm doing, but it's like they're not putting me on their show. So, yeah.
So it's affected you in all aspects for
Yeah.
speaking out and
Yeah, but
being,
like there's nothing more important to me than like the dignity or the freedom of Palestinians, and I will never compromise on that. And that is like
wow.
a position that puts me at odds with a lot of people in society.
And isn't that weird that just because you support Palestine and being anti-Israel pushes people away and that's just you standing for basic human rights for the Palestinian people. And it seems to
Yes.
be such a hard concept for some to grasp and understand.
It's really not a difficult stance, especially if you're somebody who understands justice and truth, right? Like it's the Palestinian people are such a genuine, authentic people who have roots in Palestine that go back thousands of years, right? Like, if you want to talk about thousands of years ago, like Palestinians were there and they've been there continuously. They are the native people of the land. If you look at the early writing of Theodore Herzl and Jabotinsky, they're very explicit. They're like, we are the colonizers. We are here to steal everything and kick everyone out. We have to disenfranchise these native people. Like, that's what they're saying. And so when you see these modern day Zionists who are talking about, like, we're the indigenous people, it's like, dude, is there anything you will not steal? Okay, that is not your story. Like, that is literally, have you even done the reading? Like, so yeah.
Yeah, the answer is probably no.
Yeah.
And you've never done Aliyah, right? You've never
No.
been there. Okay.
No,
Have
I
you ever?
even before I had my like awakening about Zionism, I was sketched out of the idea that they were offering me a free trip because I grew up in Los Angeles, so it's like there's nothing free. If the thing is free, you're the product.
Wow. Yes, that is so, that was, yes. Now, have you ever been to Palestine?
No, but inshallah, I'll go once the occupation is gone. I would love
Inshallah,
to
inshallah.
help rebuild.
Inshallah. Can you share like a time when a Palestine related joke hit harder than you expected and like maybe moved someone emotionally or started like a deep conversation?
Well, I just had a video go viral where Israelis walked out of my show because I mentioned the fact that they've killed more children in this than any recent global conflict. And then
Hmm.
they just got out. And I told a joke. The joke is like, you guys see that story of the Israeli soldier who was eaten by a shark? What a feel good story, huh? I mean, truly, not for him, but for me. Made me feel really good. And, because the Israelis, they've killed more children in this than any global conflict in
Hmm.
recent history. Like, and I don't use that like conflict. Just that's what the stats
Yeah.
are. Um, but there was like video coming out from the beach earlier that day where the shark had swam past Israeli children but didn't attack the children,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So even a shark can tell the difference between a child and a soldier. And I hit that joke as they were leaving, and the video just went bananas. And it's obviously, it's one of the things that got Jordana Cutler of Meta's attention to my account is this video
Oh.
that's circulating where Israelis are being humiliated for being like snowflakes who can't sit through a comedy show but can easily watch a genocide. And also where
Mm.
like the joke worked at their expense. They hate it. They hate it. Their whole thing is they want to look good, and they never do because they have literally the worst PR ever. Um, so yeah, that is one instance that has started many conversations, including among high-level Meta executives about how and when to disappear my account. And yeah, that's probably the best instance recently. Oh, but
Yeah.
also two really good news is the video is monetized on TikTok. So if you go to that video, my shark video, it's pinned. It's Israelis walk out of a comedy show. If you go to that and you comment and you like, it's monetized. It's raising money and it's raised at least $700 so far that I'm going to send
Wow.
directly to the Samir Project in Gaza. The Samir Project. They are doing fantastic work where they're distributing water and food and medicine and tents and things of that nature to the people of Gaza who obviously have been under siege and are being starved by the Israeli occupation.
Wow, that is amazing. Big
So
W to you
literally
for
easiest way to raise money right now for
which
like
one is it? Is
Palestine.
it your pinned one? Like, do you
Pinned
know?
one is so I have a
Okay.
couple pinned ones, but it's the Israelis walk out of a comedy show. Go comment on that video, circulate that video, repost that video, and it will continue to generate funds that I will send directly to Gaza.
Okay, so
Um,
for everybody that's in here, click on his
yeah,
page right now. Go look for that video. It should be in the top three, right?
top three.
Usually pin,
Yeah.
yes. So the one that says Israelis walk out, make
Mm-hmm.
sure you guys like, put a comment, and
Yep.
then repost it. So if
Yeah.
everybody could do that right now, this is an easy way to help raise money for Gaza.
Hmm.
And WU for taking that initiative and taking the opportunity to help the people in Palestine. Could you tell us more about the Samir Foundation?
Yeah, so the Samir Project is a mutual aid project that is run by people on the ground and also in diaspora. It's a connection between the two, and what they're doing is they are providing water that's already in Gaza, distributing it to the areas that are desperately in need of water, in need of food. Specifically, they're taking care of like North Gaza right now, but they do have operations all throughout Gaza. And yeah, check out the Samir Project. They constantly are posting videos. They're also in collaboration with Translating Palestine. It's another Instagram account that is working to uplift the efforts of the Samir Project. And you can see videos of them distributing food, distributing to children. People are always so happy to see them, always telling them, God bless you. I hope, hope things are good for you. Like just that God will reward them for their efforts, and that's exactly
Wow.
what I hope. Alhamdulillah, like they're doing literally the most vital work that is on the ground distribution of mutual aid because all of the NGOs, like everything else, like it's not. I mean, I don't want to speak ill of people who are trying to do well, but like the most effective way to get funds and things to the people of Palestine is to go through the Samir Project, in my opinion.
All right. And so for everyone, we'll definitely get that link and then we'll try to post it in the chat for anybody that is interested in helping out because this is a way, like we're learning all the time of different initiatives, and it's
Hmm.
on us to help try our best to help those on the ground that are already there to as much as we can.
Yeah,
So we'll definitely post that, inshallah, in
inshallah.
the comment section.
And
If
then
you could,
also,
yeah, go ahead.
oh, sorry to interrupt you. I apologize.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so if you also wanted to get involved in something that is local to you, right? Especially if you're in Europe, but also if you're in the United States, look into Palestine Action, right? PalestineAction.org. What they are doing is they are not waiting for politicians who are never going to protect Palestinians or prioritize human rights. They don't care about us. They're the ones doing the genocide. What they are doing is the Palestine Action folks go into and target weapons manufacturers, and they physically stop the flow of bombs, of weapons parts. They do a little interior redecoration. Okay, they do a little feng shui. I don't want to say too much more, but sometimes they'll like paint the outside of the buildings. They'll stop the flow of production of weapons, stop it for a day, stop it for a week. Eventually, the companies will grow tired of this campaign and they will cut coordination with the occupation. They're targeting Elbit Systems, which is one of the main suppliers of weapons to the Israeli occupation. They've been successful in shutting down 3 factories so far in Europe, and they're working on continuing to gain ground. So join Palestine Action and get involved locally. Even if you're not somebody who's in a position to swing a sledgehammer yourself, you could donate to an organization that would provide it to somebody who would,
Okay,
right?
yeah, it's PalestineAction.org, correct?
Yeah, I believe it's .org, yeah. But just
Yeah.
type in Palestine Action and it'll come up. They're the only group right now that is stopping the flow of weapons, right? We are in the belly of the beast of imperialism. And so it is our responsibility to push at those edges, right? And expand the scope of what is possible, right? People right now, they're doing a lot of like marching and they're doing a lot of like donating. And like, dude, the Samir Project will be the first to tell you like donations are great, but this is not going to stop what's happening. The occupation is not going to stop because of donations. We need direct action right now. They are, they put out a post that directed people's attention towards Palestine Action. It's one of the last posts that I was collabed on before they disappeared my account. Um, yeah, so people can get involved locally, and it's you'd be surprised at how many weapons manufacturers are located within a short bus ride from you. right?
Yes,
I
absolutely.
won't say much more than that.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And so for everybody, again, it's palestineaction.org. And then for the Samir project, it's on Instagram.
Yeah.
They have
They
like
have
a
a
link
link
tree
tree.
there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can go to Instagram. It's the Samir project. So I'll put it on in the comments as well. So palestineaction.org and the Samir project. Again, these are ways if you are unable to join marches like the one that's happening in Egypt, the March to Gaza, and this is local. So like you mentioned for the project or the Palestine Action, this is
Yep.
local where you can find ways to be active and join other activists in your area. So
Yes.
we'll definitely continue putting that in the chat. And
Thank you.
then I wanted to also see, like, if you could, this is my next question, if you could prefer or perform one set in front of the entire world, what message about Palestine would you make sure got through?
Mm. Just that the Palestinian people are dignified people, that they have a deep connection to their land and their tradition, and it's a beautiful place that, deserves more respect than it's currently received.
Yeah, and I think, and like when it comes to the Palestinians, um, the dehumanization is so deep, especially it's deep rooted in Zionism and then those in
Hmm.
like the Western media. And
Yeah.
that's like when it comes to like the Western media, um, what role do you think humor plays in shifting narratives around Palestine, like especially in the Western media?
Yeah, I think humor is a really valuable tool for delivering a powerful message, right? Like, if you can say something that is funny and also communicates a problem in society, people are more likely to receive that message than if you just hit them with the problem and not a joke, right? That's why, shows like The Daily Show have had such a huge impact on news, is because comedians are actually doing a better job of delivering news than regular news people. And that's because, traditionally comedians have, like, our art form stems from the court jester, right? Originally, we were meant to, like, there was a relationship between the court jester and the king. And then the king's looker on, like everybody else who was around in the castle. And the court jester was meant to reveal to everybody that, like, the emperor has no clothes, but also do it in such a way that he didn't get killed for messing up and upsetting the king. That was the
Hmm.
balance that we, like, stem from. And so now you have a lot of comedians who are trying to be king. Like, they've forgotten that, like, we're meant to be upsetting the social order. We're meant to be challenging social norms and speaking up for the oppressed, right? Representing an underdog. That's why Israelis are some of the least funny Jews I've ever encountered. I swear, bro. We used to be funny people and they ruined it. Like, it's just, have you ever seen an Israeli stand up comedian? It is brutal, right? Um,
That's actually
so,
true.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I swear, Jews used to be really funny. And, like, now it's pretty, I know a lot of funny anti-Zionist Jews, but I know almost no, like I know no funny Israelis, and that's because they're coming from the side of the oppressor, right? It's never funny to joke about, like, the oppressed, but, like, from the side of the oppressor. That's crazy. That's not how comedy's done. That's fascism, right? Like, comedy is meant to upset the people who are in power. And if it's not upsetting the people in power, then it's PR or marketing for corporations.
Yeah, oh man, that is actually so true. I didn't ever like think of it because there's not many, I don't really see many Zionist stand-up comedians. I mean, they don't really fall into my FYP or anything,
Yeah,
but that is really that is so true. They are not funny. Um
yeah.
and and I kind of guess this is kind of maybe you kind of answered it, but like if you feel any pressure to kind of like soften your message depending on the crowd or you're just always
No.
unapologetic.
No, I've always been myself to many crowds' disapproval. I have performed a lot in all over the world, and I never change my message based on where I am. I did a whole European tour where even in Berlin, I spoke about, free Palestine, being Jewish and supporting Palestine. And that was confusing for them, right? Because in Germany, they're like, he's Jewish and he supports Palestine. Like, which thing do we hate him for? Both. But yeah.
Oh
So
man.
I never change, and I'll never soften the message or like retreat intellectually to, be amenable to Zionists. Like never. Steve Salaita said it best when he's like, "You never back down an inch intellectually from Zionists, or physically, or in any way. Like we don't cede ground to Zionists. They're losing ground intellectually, and we're gonna keep marching straight to Al-Quds."
Oh, inshallah, inshallah. And man, he said Al-Quds, guys.
Hmm.
Al-Quds.
You heard it, Mikey
That's right.
Intifada.
That's right. You heard it from Mikey Intifada.
Hmm.
How do you handle being labeled maybe like controversial or divisive for simply speaking on human rights?
I don't really pay attention to it. There's a lot of people who've been slandering me for many years now as a result of speaking about Palestine, and you just have to keep your head down and keep with the work. Like a lot of people will say things about me, but it's like, what are you doing?
Now, you said it can get lonely.
Yeah.
Um, is there how do you how do you find your space or your group or your safe place when it comes with that territory of being lonely?
Yeah. Um, I think it's important to have a core group of people who you can rely
Hmm.
on. Like I have a really great community.
Okay, good.
And so like as soon as I lost my Instagram account, the folks at Eye on Palestine, a few other of the big accounts, like they found me immediately and they started lifting me up. And even the people in Gaza were messaging me like, Michael, we were scared about you. Like, are you okay? Like, and I just was struck by that, where it's like, wow, you guys are literally living a Holocaust, but you're like concerned that I lost my Instagram
Yeah, it's
account.
amazing.
I've just been floored by that. So yeah, I'm shout out Mishmish. He's my friend in Gaza. He is a clown. He performs in the Gaza Circus, and
Oh,
he's been doing really great work of entertaining the children who are undergoing the
is he with
most, you
Tito?
know. I'm not sure. His other
Oh,
partner's
okay.
named Jihad, so it's Jihad
Mm.
and Mishmish, and together they're the Lion Brothers in Gaza. Give them a Google and a
Oh,
follow as well.
definitely. Definitely. Now,
And
do you perform like outside, like right now, do you have any upcoming tours like in the
yeah, yeah,
US? Oh, yeah.
absolutely. So yeah, I'll be in San Francisco. I'll be there on July 5th. I wanna say. I haven't like my calendar. I'm looking at my phone to do this, so I don't know the exact dates, but I think it's July 5th weekend. Check out the Setup Comedy in San Francisco, performing at a place called the Lost Church. Really cool underground venue, multiple rooms, like a magic show in the other room. Really cool stuff. And then I'll be in Portland as well. I'm doing Portland on the 16th of July. It's the Siren Theater. And I'm doing a co-headline with James Rewald. He's a brilliant creator on here who makes a lot of like anti-capitalist, communist content. James Rewald. So he and I are going to be doing a stand-up show together in Portland, and then I'll be back in Los Angeles July 30th. I'm back at the setup in Culver City, and then I'm actually featuring for Semi Obeid on
Oh,
August 3rd.
nice. Oh,
Um,
amazing.
I think I'm doing the late show, so be sure to get tickets for the late show. But I'm not exactly sure, so wait till I post
You
something
should
about it.
post, yeah, I was gonna say you should
Yeah.
definitely make a post on your upcoming shows so that way people are able to make sure to
So
get
I
there.
have I have mostly like I can't anymore because the Zionists have reached out to like all of the venues that I post and harassed the
Oh my
owners
God.
and also the people who run the shows. And so now I kind of like promote it sort of like, on the fly, where it's like if you're on this live, you saw it. But
Well, we
I will
can
make
help
like
you
okay,
with
yeah.
that. Like
Thank
if
you so
that,
much.
any way that we can help. Um, wow, so they're trying to shut down any of
Oh
your
yeah.
shows.
Oh yeah, so they've actually reached out to every major comedy club in Los Angeles trying to make sure I don't get booked there. And jokes on them, I already don't get booked there. Okay, thank you so much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, whatever we can do, again, like that's why I was asking you, like, when
Oh,
you said that you're learning, like, whatever we can do to help you
yeah.
with that, like, please let us know because
Thank you.
we are here. We're all family,
Yeah.
and we are hand in hand in anything
Yeah.
that we can to uplift each other and continue the fight and, together.
Yeah.
Um, and then kind of just like my final question is, what gives you hope right now, despite
Um,
everything?
I'm so proud of what the resistance has been able to accomplish. And I would say all glory to the martyrs because they continue to push back against fascism and capitalist imperialism on the front lines. And they show no signs of letting up or stopping despite this overwhelming effort to crush their spirit and their soul. And so, if people in Gaza are still exhibiting signs of hope, then who am I as somebody in the West to be like, I'm depressed. I need a day off, right? Like there's no time. There's no time to waste. There's an urgency that many people are ignoring.
Wow. Well, like you speak like you're a Palestinian basically. You are Palestinian.
Wallahi,
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 akhui,
inshallah.
inshallah. Amazing, amazing. Let me, I think, see PG Beam wanted to ask you something. So we'll kind of give a chance for anybody that wanted to ask a question. Go ahead, PG.
I don't know you actually, but I hear you do a lot of stuff, and I'm interested as I am currently living in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, where I'm part of the guys that hunted. I can say proudly, I hunted the Zionists that came to Amsterdam for the football match. They
Mm-hmm.
ran away from my friends from my team. We hunted them down. They ran away like little kids. We threw them in the canals. And now I want to know more of what you do, what you did. And yes, as you see, I have the flag. I'm actually traumatized by the beatings I took from the police few months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and yet we still fighting. And my question for you, if you see so many things that happen, like people trying to cancel you, how you cope with that?
Yeah, bro. Thank you so much for your work. Fantastic stuff in Amsterdam. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I have also been on the front lines of many protests. I've been shot with rubber bullets multiple times. I've been tear gassed. I've been maced. I've been pepper sprayed and pepper bulleted. Um, I have been active on the front lines for many years. And the way that I deal with people who are trying to like cancel me is I pretty much ignore them, unless they're doing something that I feel like I need to factually correct, then I'm not really interested in feeding into what they have to say. And in addition to being somebody who has been on the front lines, like I'm just engaged in the work. So like since 2021, I've been fundraising for Gaza, right? Well, even before the Unity Intifada in May. I helped raise over $100,000 for a mutual aid project, Miss Najah's Kitchen, and we like really helped to feed the people in Palestine in 2021, and I've never stopped since then. Every year we've been, you know, going towards organizations, working with them, and finding the best, most effective way to get food, to get water, to get medicine, to get tents, to get, everything that the people of Palestine need directly to them without any like middle management or anything like that.
Ask another question because I'm with some organizations here in the Netherlands for the Palestinians. If
Mm-hmm.
you want, if you are open for it, I will and want to ask a few stuff in privately to you, that I sent a few stuff to you privately before TikTok.
Okay. Are you saying
Yeah.
you want to talk offline or what are you saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
not
Okay.
on TikTok,
Yeah,
if it's
100%.
possible.
I think that's actually a really important point is that we need to be tight about operational security because the feds are already using the pictures from Los Angeles, to create like wanted posters. And so nobody should be sharing images or video with people's faces. Blur people's faces if you have to post something, but you genuinely don't have to. But
Mhm.
like, not everybody needs to have their phones out at these protests. Not everybody needs to have phones on them. What we need are
Mhm.
people who are willing to do work off camera, right?
Yes.
And not receive like the credit or like the limelight that like comes with making a video right in front of the burning car. Like, gang, you're
If you wanna
potentially
film it, if
what's
you
that?
wanna film it, guys, to everybody who's listening, if you are with a demonstration protest, if you want to film so badly, film below the leg, below the middle, so you see
Yeah.
only legs and flags. Not
Yes.
Even the
because a friend of mine got his house raided by
mm-hmm,
the special police of the
yeah.
Netherlands. So please be
Yeah.
careful with the pictures.
Yes, and
Yes,
nobody should be
absolutely.
texting stuff to each other.
Mhm.
Like, don't do stuff in writing. You guys, we all need to be careful, right? Because there's a dragnet surveillance system that is trying to track our every movements and get us tripped up, so that they can prosecute us on some false charges.
Yeah. Thank you so much, PG, and thank you, Mikey, for answering that.
Yeah, of
We'll
course.
go next to Linda.
Hey Mikey, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Humor is a huge part of how we cope and how we move through life as a people. I kind of wish that someone that we know from Gaza was here today, but the past few days we haven't been able to be in touch with them because of what's happening in the north. But he's
Yeah.
laughed his way through this entire G side. So
Mm-hmm.
this is just how we are as a people. I wanted to say that I do agree with you. My favorite comedian of all time was Don Rickles. So let's make Jewish comedians funny again. I'm going to be labeled anti-Semitic for that, but it is what it is. I wanted to ask you, have you ever had like a breakthrough moment where somebody with opposing views was able to change their mind or their perspective through your humor?
Oh yeah, for sure. I get a lot of messages actually that are like, "Thank you so much. I used to be a Zionist, or I used to think like Zionism was good, and then like I started watching your videos, and you helped me realize that like it's terrible, and it's like racism, and that I've like they've grown significantly as a result of some of my videos. I receive those messages pretty frequently, and that's nice. Like it is good to hear that other people are resonating with it and that like my message can be a part of people's deprogramming.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Linda. We'll go next to Zuhair.
Hey, hi, how you doing?
Hiya.
Listening to you. My question, first of all, I want to say one thing for the ITF, other than they are analyzing kids and women, destroying hospitals, schools, etc. You know it, and stealing. Right now in West Bank, they are stealing lands, our water, and they are
Mm-hmm.
invading villages, houses, and they're stealing all their belongings like cash, gold, etc. Because these villagers, they keep their money mostly at home and they steal it. and
Mm-hmm.
they make them, very, very poor. My question to you, and I'm trying to see what is the pressure on you and good people like you, like Abby Martin, Gabor, Matt, Aaron, Matt, his son, Norman, Finn, Christine, and the good people that we listen to them. What kind of pressure you're getting, and in order, how can you defend Palestinian, in other words, and being not Palestinian? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your question. So, I think anybody can defend Palestine. I think that you don't need to be Palestinian to stand up and say that a genocide is wrong, that a Holocaust is wrong, that murdering women, children, men, elderly, anybody, that murdering people is wrong, right? Judaism says do not kill and do not steal. And then Zionism says kill everyone and steal everything. And so, yeah, you're seeing pogroms that are happening. It's simple. If you're a human being who doesn't like to see suffering, then you'll be able to stand up for Palestine. And then you said the first part of your question was like the pressure that was being put. I'm sorry, could you rephrase that first part?
Yeah, the pressure on you and the other fellow
Oh, like
Jewish,
the fallout.
yeah, good people that
Yes.
they stand, and they like Abby Martin
Yes.
and the other
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so there's a lot of censorship that happens. I just had my Instagram account disappeared. Before that, I was dealing with shadow bans. I was dealing with, a purging of my followers. I was very like they just, were trying to slow down the message because Zionists recognize they can't stop the message anymore. Like they used to be able to think that they would stop the message. Now they recognize they need to just slow down the message, right? People are going to learn about Palestine and learn about the atrocities. And so they just need to slow that down, right? So people don't learn about it too quick. And I've also had a number of things happen. I've lost family, I've lost friends, I've lost a lot of financial stuff. But it's like there's literally nothing that I wouldn't sacrifice for Palestine and its freedom.
Thank you, and
Mashallah, that's amazing.
good people like you. Once Palestine is free, you are welcome to our homes, and we will treat you nicely.
Of
MashaAllah. Thank you
course,
so
he said
much.
he was gonna go to Palestine and he's gonna go to Al-Quds once it is free, inshallah.
Inshallah.
All right, thank you, Amu Zuhair. We'll go to Maggie's farm. Maggie's farm, are you there? Um, okay, I don't know. Maybe they don't know how to
It's
open
all good.
their mic. Not really sure. But make sure everybody to go and click on his page right now. If you click on his face, it'll come up and it'll say follow. Make sure you give him a follow and to go to his first three pinned videos. The one that says Israelis walk out, please make sure to go like, comment, and repost because that video right now is getting monetized, and any money that he gets from it, he's going to be donating it to Gaza, to the Samir project for
Mm-hmm.
water, inshallah. So
Mm-hmm.
far he has made $700 off of that post, which is amazing. So
Mm-hmm.
please, guys, if everybody can click on him, make sure you guys first of all give him a follow and then click on that pin message, the first three. It'll say Israelis walk out, and make sure you guys like it, repost it, and then also give it a comment because we do want to try to get that trending. And then inshallah, I mean, it's already trending. You already got, that's a really amazing so far,
Yeah.
right?
It's like
So
pretty close
whatever.
to 1 million right now. So if we get it above the million, it'll probably start circulating more and inshallah raise more money for the Samir project for water for the people of Gaza.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Wallah, like we're so proud of you. And I
Thank
know
you.
I know it can feel, lonely where you're family and friendly, but we are all your family and never
Yeah, yeah.
forget that. Like
Yeah,
we
that's
are
what I
all
want to
here for
say.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are all here for you. And if there's any way that we can um come together more, like whatever you need from us, like please let us know because that is why we are here. And everybody's saying
Yeah.
that they've already went and they liked it and shared it and reposted. So
Amazing. Shukran.
amazing,
Shukran.
amazing.
Thank you,
And
chat.
I'll give Maggie's Farm one more chance. I don't know, Maggie, if you oh, they're just kind of up here. I'm not sure. Maggie's, all right. I don't
Well,
think they
while we
know how
wait,
to
I
unmute.
will say like the chosen family that I've come into and the community that I've come into as a result of, being an advocate for Palestine has been so humbling and so rewarding, and I wouldn't do anything different. The people who I call family now are not necessarily like the blood that I'm related to, but the people who I organize with and the people who I am connected to through this, mission to free Palestine. And because of it, I have connections all over the world now, right? Like I know people in Al Quds. I know people in Gaza. I know people in the West Bank. I know people in Europe. I know people in the United States. And that's why they tried to undercut me as well, is because my network was getting so large that I was like able to jump back in between like Irish reunification to, the Congo, to the Sudan, to Palestine, to police brutality in the United States, like I was able to start like weaving all of those things together. And they really didn't like that coming from a guy who looks like me.
Mm. Yeah, and keep going. Keep
Oh,
going.
I
I
won't stop.
know.
Yeah, they can't
Yeah.
stop me.
And then
Can't
you
stop,
said
won't stop.
the Palestine Pod. Do you guys have a page on like TikTok where people can follow you?
So we don't have a page on TikTok. I just post the Palestine Pod episodes on my TikTok. Because
Okay.
Lara is not on TikTok, and
But
so
they're
she didn't
on
want to.
Instagram
Yeah, they're all on Instagram. We have a
and on
dedicated
YouTube.
Instagram and a YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube. We're near 20,000 followers. So if we could get up to
Amazing.
20,000, that would be great.
Yeah, that is their
Yeah.
podcast, guys. So if you guys don't follow it, definitely go on YouTube to
hmm
they have they talk about a lot of talks. I like was looking at a lot of talks about like the news, the current events. She has awesome guests. So
She's a
amazing,
human rights
amazing work.
lawyer. She's Palestinian. Her family is from Gaza. She is a
Oh,
certified
wow.
lawyer and she works in international human rights law. And yeah, she tells
Maybe we
me,
can try to get her with Huwaida because we have
yeah,
Huwaida
yeah,
Arraf. I don't know if you know her, but
yeah, we had her
she's
on the
one of
pod.
the yeah, so we she comes on here a lot that joins us and talks about like the flotilla and stuff. So
hmm
maybe we can have both of them together. That would be
Yeah, it'd be great.
amazing.
Yeah.
Is it the same name on YouTube? Yes, the
Yeah.
Palestine Pod.
Pod. Yeah. Check us
So make
out. Please
sure
support. Thank you all
yes,
so
please,
much.
guys, make sure you subscribe. This is all ways to support. And again, we need to support each other in order for our voices to continue to be pushed forward and to be able to reach all houses and all audiences. And it's crazy, but there are still some people that don't know. And we're talking about in America. There are people that actually don't know what's going on to a
At this
certain
point,
extent.
if you don't know, that's a choice that you've made, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's available to you. There are plenty of outlets that have reported on it and have been reporting on it for the last year or 2 years. And so, I know that there are people who don't know because I travel all over the country. And so I kind of get like a litmus test of what they're experiencing. But yeah, that is their dedication towards remaining ignorant to the suffering of the Palestinian people, right? Because it's easier for them to do that and then just go to Walmart or just go,
Mm-hmm.
get their nails done or go to brunch or literally whatever people are doing in lieu of dedicating their life to Palestinian liberation.
Yeah, today I actually spoke to somebody and I was like, "Do you know what's going on in Gaza?" They're like, "No." I'm like, "Have you heard of Gaza?" They're
Crazy,
like very like
crazy.
I've heard of I was like, "Have you heard of Palestine?" They're like, "No." I'm like,
Right.
"Have you heard of Israel?" They're like, "Oh yeah, I have." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
crazy." Like some people in America, like this is the problem with like the Western media and like America is some households really just are sitting there, maybe just watching Netflix or just watching shows, and they really have no idea what's going on. And because
Yeah.
they think that it doesn't affect them, right? They think that what's
hmm
happening there is not actually affecting them in in America, where they don't know that their tax dollars are going out there. They don't know anything. And you're right. I think it is comes down to it is that it's your choice at that point.
Yeah, they don't know that our police are being trained by the Israeli occupation forces
Mm-hmm.
to utilize the same tactics that they're utilizing against Palestinians on the indigenous communities here in the United States. They don't recognize that the cop cities that are being built everywhere under left and right administrations are connected to these like fusion centers and, this surveillance state, and all of these things are connected. And so anybody who fails to realize that is just somebody who's like doesn't want to acknowledge reality. But also, I will say that like the American population has been stupefied over many years through like the public education system and media and things that are meant to encourage anti-intellectual behavior, right? You think about it, you don't see a lot of people reading in public in the US, right? And I just got back from Europe and people are reading all the time. Like people are reading in the subway, people are reading at cafes. It is super common to see people reading. And then you come back to the United States and they're not reading, right? Like
Yep.
people are not, like the average reading comprehension level of an American citizen, I think, is like an eighth grade level. And
Oh,
so
that's sad.
yeah, like it's people have been conditioned to hate to read, and therefore they've been easier to oppress. They've been easier to like
Yes.
funnel into this capitalist system that sacrifices them and
Mm-hmm.
their labor, right, for the enrichment of a few individuals at the very top who benefit from all of us.
Wow. That is so well said. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Uh, and then what would you say to some of the Zionists that are like in the chat saying, then, move to a Muslim country, you're hypocrites, move, go. They're
Oh,
triggered right now.
Oh, I literally have moved to Europe already. I'm just back in the United States doing my job of comedy. I already did. I support land back, and I think that settlers should go home. And so you should too. I already did.
No, W. I didn't know that you moved.
Yeah, I live in Europe now.
Oh, that's amazing. You said,
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm done
Yeah,
with
well, it's
this.
it's like it's not because of the politics. I happen to get engaged to a person who has citizenship
Oh,
in Europe, and so yeah,
congratulations.
thank you so much.
That's amazing. So
Yeah,
you
thank
do a
you.
lot of like shows maybe more there.
Yeah, I'll be all over Europe in the near future after I get back from the US.
I think you should do a show possibly in Palestine. Like if have you
Inshallah.
heard of like Amr Zahir,
Yeah,
the
I know. Yeah.
comedian?
We had
Yeah,
him on the
so I
podcast. He was one of our like third episodes, I think, maybe.
yes, so
Yeah,
maybe you guys, I mean he does a lot of shows in Palestine. He's
that'd be
always
great.
there. So you should definitely
Yeah.
do a show there. I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
him, message him right now.
Would love that.
Um, but amazing. And guys, please again make sure you follow Mikey Intifada here. This is his main account because his Instagram got taken down because of Meta. They are mad that he's anti-Israel and he speaks
Yeah.
out against Israel, so they completely shut down his account. And then
Yeah,
also
they
on Twitter, right? You're on X?
yeah, I'm on X. It's Mike Schirtzer, Mic Schirtzer. And yeah, my Instagram account got, sent to a digital El Salvadorian jail somewhere else right now.
He said digital El Salvador in jail. Oh man. Well, I mean, like you have Zionists right here saying my condolences and stuff. And it doesn't matter if they take down an account because guess what? The voice is still loud. The voices
Yeah.
there's other outlets and it doesn't mean that they'll stop. So keep on
Yeah.
going and
Thank you.
we will continue to follow you and follow your journey. And your jokes are hilarious. I love them.
Thank you.
Could you
Thank you.
give us one joke? I don't know, like I know you said your shark joke was your favorite, but if there's like another one that you can remember, maybe, and then we can end on that note.
Okay, for sure. A lot of people would tell me I give off like a whistleblower's energy. Uh, Someone said that I look like Edward Snowden if he went to ITT Tech. Um, Somebody told me that I look mixed recently, and I was like,
Oh yeah?
"What?" And they said, "Yeah, you look like a mix of all the school shooters."
Oh my
So,
God. Oh
anyways,
my gosh, that is crazy.
that's
Well,
my
thank
time,
you
guys.
so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you, Mikey, for being with us today. Mikey
Appreciate you.
Intifada, it's great to have you with us. And inshallah, we will follow you on your journey. And good luck and keep going. You are a
Thank you.
Palestinian brother. Salam. Thank you so much, Mikey.
Salam. Salam.